Scrappy Peep, Suzanna here today for Scrapbooking Boys to Men, a series that I'm doing on my own now. I seem to be the last woman standing. This is the layout that I'm sharing with you, inspired by the letter V. So the idea was that we were working our way through the alphabet and using each letter to inspire the page. So this episode is the letter V, and I am going with Vroom Vroom. I kind of struggled with the title. I was going with vehicle, and I was going to do the vehicle that Nicholas is driving. And then I couldn't find any pictures that I liked with that. But I had this story that I wanted to tell of Nicholas going on his first long road trip. And so it evolved to Vroom Vroom. So I have a digital cut file here that I have cut out of gray, and I want to back so that the lines of the road are in white. And that is sort of the centerpiece of the layout, and then we will go from there. So I am working with I am doing a little bit of stash bashing here. I am working with the Boy Crazy My Mind's Eye collection. This is from 2013, which in the grand scheme of vintage, it is not all that old, but from a scrapbooking supply standpoint is actually pretty old. And you'll see when I move what I'm working with right now that I literally have pretty much the entire collection. I think I have created one layout, in fact, maybe two layouts with this, and everything is in a little baggie together. And you'll see my amazement at, oh, I didn't know that was in there. When I pull out the little bag of ephemera and other sticker goodies that I had bought to go with the collection. So I know I want that blue piece as the background. It is the chevron that you see right there. And I think part of why I never really scrapped with this collection much previously is, and it took me a long time to figure this out, but so a lot of manufacturers design things that are either cream based or white based. And it took me a really long time to figure out that I am a white based gal. So, for example, I love Bella Boulevard and have always loved Bella Boulevard because whenever they use a neutral color, that neutral color is white. It is not cream. So you can see here that all of this collection is cream based. And I think that vintagey feel that the cream gives to it is where I really struggled. But I have learned as I have become a more experienced scrapbooker that if you throw white into it, it definitely brightened things up a little bit. So what I'm doing here is I know I want that chevron, and to me that's kind of like driving off into the distance, and that's the sky, but I want something about a third of the way down that is going to ground that. This is something that I do frequently if I am not scrapping on a white background. Or even if I have a white background, I like to divide the layout into thirds. I think it has something to do with, oops, I put that on the wrong way. I think it has something to do with uh, the when you are something to consider when you're taking photographs too is that you don't want your people in the middle. You want to think of that rule of thirds. And so I am applying that to my design principles as well. And so you've got the horizon at that's dividing the bottom third and the second third of the layout there. So my road is a little bit short, so I have this lovely striped border that fits perfectly. It is a little bit short for 12 by 12, and I had thought that I would pull that together by actually stitching across it, but as you've heard me say a lot lately, I couldn't be bothered. So it's fine just the way that it is. So I have two photos. One is of Nicholas actually leaving home, about to head out on his 3.5-hour drive out to Blacksburg. He was going over the summer to visit some of his new swim teammates out at Virginia Tech, where he's now at college and or university. And then the other photo is of Where's My, the app Where's My. This was his first long drive. Though he's been driving for a long, long time, this was the first time that he had gone anywhere over what I think was the first time he'd gone anywhere over an hour. And being the nervous Nelly that I was, I pretty much followed him on Where's My the whole way out there. I just didn't want to find him 4 hours later when he was supposed to have arrived um, on the side of a road. It's just the mom in me. So what I'm struggling with here is I feel like this is very left side dominant on the page, and I want something on the right hand side. I am also looking for elements that are not going to get lost into that very busy background. I don't typically work on busy backgrounds, and so I needed, especially with that dark black photo, to find something that was going to help me distribute the weight evenly all the way across the page, as well as create some balance between the cream that I was struggling with and that really dark picture from that's showing him on the road and where he is. So again, this is a really old collection, and so the cards that come with this had rounded corners, and my photos don't have rounded corners, so I just can't do rounded corners with right angles. So I cut off the rounded corners there, and that was going to provide the perfect place to house some journaling. But again, it ended up on the left-hand side of the page, and you can see I'm really struggling with how am I going to provide the balance between the left and the right-hand side of the page. So the curve of the road does swerve over to the right-hand side, and you do have, if you look down the center of the layout, it actually is almost equally distributed down the center of the layout, but it just, the weight and the balance of the lights and the darks don't center out, if that makes sense. So putting the note card there is a much better solution. And you can see how, while it may not be horizontally symmetrical, it is much closer to being an evenly distributed light with the contrast to the very, very dark there. So I have the red in the wheels. I've got the red in the noted. I feel like I need to have a little bit of red on that left-hand side of the page. So that is something that I need to address still. I also have these stickers. So I have them in 3 different colors, and I feel like I need to at least use some somewhere. So I am just going to put a phrase on the left-hand side that says, "You are perfect just the way you are." And then on the right-hand side, I have that change, or I think it might have been documented. And so I'm going to put change documented. So moving outside of his comfort zone and going on this longer drive. I think the reason he had never really gone on a long drive was because anywhere we had to go long was either 9 hours, which he hates driving my SUV. He likes his sedan. So he's never done that. And then B, when he had to go sort of the shorter long distances, so like this 3.5 hours, it was always to a swim meet where he needed to rest, and we didn't really need him stressing out over the getting there, especially with us in the car watching exactly what he's doing because this child likes to speed. So I had a gap there between that photo of him and the yellow horizon. And so I thought that was the perfect place to put the title, one of the Vrooms. And I have this whole sheet of stickers, and I feel like I want to use as much of the collection as I can to decorate the page. I am not one to use entirely just one collection, but this has been sitting around for so long that I thought I might as well use it. So you can see I pulled out that other, it's a different chipboard, but it's still a red, and that way I can complete the vroom vroom on the title. And so in essence, I have 2 clusters, one on the right hand side of the road and one on the left hand side of the road. And doesn't that note card look so much better just backed in that little border of red? It just, yeah, I don't know what it is, why, but it's so much better that way. So I'm going to pull out a few of the stickers, and I'm going to pop the cars off the page, and you know that the thickers, so the Vroom that's already on there is foam, and then I'm actually going to use another set of thickers that are in that more tealy color, and they are chipboard. So I'm raising things up off the page just for some consistency and dimension across the page. And again, trying to use up a few of these stickers, and I like the way that the red down by that blue car there just gives a little bit more red and brightens up the page a little bit. Um, doesn't that look so much better tucked underneath the road too? While I have it overlapping the road on the left-hand side of the road, by tucking it under the right-hand side of the road, you don't lose that curve off to the right. It did take away a little bit more of my journaling space, but that is a-okay with me. So more stash busting. I can't tell you how old some of these stickers are. These particular stickers that I've got now, these blue ones, they get a little bit lost on that busy chevron, and I toyed with the idea of going in and just smudging um, some gesso in there, but I really didn't. You know, lately I just want things to be simple. If I can't just do it, if it has to dry, then I'm not interested. If I have to go to my machine to stitch, then I'm just not interested. Um, so that is, and really, it doesn't look that bad. And you can see it definitely when you look at the layout. There is a much better contrast with the red letters, but I felt like I needed a little bit more blue, and I already had enough red up the top there. So moving the car down just to close that gap out a little bit, I will tell you that off camera I am going to do a couple of things that you'll see in the close-ups. Just put in a few more stickers, and that is going to wrap up my boy-inspired, letter V-inspired layout. So here are the close-ups. Enjoy those. I also want to let you all know that on Thursday, so this coming Thursday, the 23rd at 1 p.m. over at the Ellie Studio Facebook group, I am going live and doing my first ever live. I would love for you to stop in and join me, even just to say hi. The moral support would be fantastic. I am nearing the end of this series, which is kind of crazy. So be sure to come back in 2 weeks and see what I do for the letter W. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Come back again soon. Take care.